I just watched.
We're talking American football, or are we talking
American football?
You got into American football in your mid-20s.
Because
I feel like that doesn't happen too often.
So I had to do I got an email for content creation, right?
Okay.
So I had to do TikToks at MetLife. And they were like, "Do you know anything about sports?" And I was like, "I know all the sports."
Esports.
Yeah, it was literally I was like League of Legends.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Do you know about football?" I was like, "I guess I'll read an article or two." So I got kind of into it. And,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I still don't know I recently learned what a first down is, but if you asked me, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to
just define. You can't give a definition, but you know when it happens.
But I know when it happens.
Yeah. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Welcome to the bandwagon. Yep, sack's pretty
I don't know what a sack is,
self-explanatory.
but it's very important.
Do you know what a catch is?
It's when they catch the ball.
See, but no, that's a trick question because nobody knows what a catch is.
Oh, okay. It's kind of a catch-22, if you will.
That's an inside joke for all the football fans who are still mad at a few different circuits. Now, there's nobody can decide when it hits the ground, if the ball pops up, is that a catch? How much time does it have to be? Blah, blah, blah. It's all super inside. I was about to say inside baseball, but it's inside football. Yeah. Thank you for picking up where I was going with that one.
Yeah, I caught it.
So you've gotten into football, you just watch it, and it's you're just kind of okay, I'm kind of figuring out what's going on.
It's just how I relate to my friends now that I don't do cocaine. You know? Now that I don't do drugs, I can't be I got to do something else. So I was like, oh, football's closing up, I guess.
Yeah.
You put money on the games, though.
Yeah,
you're going to be oh, I feel it, and then you lose. And it's the same feeling. It's like the crash,
I can never
do cocaine?
Bet on sports.
Oh, okay.
No, I could never bet on sports. I am way more sure that I would not be addicted to cocaine than I would be to sports gambling. Because I get super into sports without money being on it. Yeah. If I'm starting to win money off this shit, then that is the end of my life.
There's a high, dude. I won a fucking remember the Jets Broncos game? It was super close. And Zach Wilson apparently sucks, which is pretty obvious.
He does, yeah.
But I heard about an injury on the Broncos, and I was like, oh, I gotta put money on this because when Tua got his 15th concussion, somehow the Jets won against Miami. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I could put money down, and the game was 69, and I was like, I can't fucking but it's good. I won.
Yeah, I mean it's fun.
Yeah,
but
and then all my sports friends were like, "Good call, bro," and I was like, I had no idea. I was just hoping people would get injured.
Oh man, yeah, that's never a good spot. That's happened to me where it's all right, if this guy dies, I should be able to get this. Yeah, not fun. Anyway, we just did the last. We've done a few episodes since we did the fantasy football podcast with Jesse. So we're not talking football.
Yeah, I do hit up Jesse a lot.
We've done plenty. Yeah, Jesse knows his stuff and he's very excited to tell you about it.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's right. He's
pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. He's got some hot takes every once in a while where it's boy, are you on cocaine? What's going on?
But it works. Sometimes I'm like, no fucking way. Yeah.
Everyone should go listen to the episodes of this he's been on. He did one of the early ones growing up, being white trash. That was a very good one.
I listened to that when I had to research football.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I forgot all of the names. Yeah. And I was like, all right, this is going to go great.
That's fine. Yeah. No, we're talking about something much nerdier.
Oh, dude, it's
today.
Way cooler.
We're going the opposite end of the cultural spectrum.
Let's do it, dude.
I was like, I can't think of something that's more opposite to football. Although there is some
they both have running
crossover
in them,
now. They both have what?
They both have running, and then they both run.
There's a lot of running. Their arms are in different positions while they do it.
Very different positions, yeah.
And yep. Oh, nothing will. We're talking anime. Nothing will. Nothing will ever be funnier to me than the one kid in high school that would run in gym with his arms.
I knew that kid
behind his back.
I saw that kid.
We all knew that kid.
That kid almost got hit by a bus.
No shit.
He was
should have been faster.
He was an artist. he was really into Sonic, and he was an artist, right? Yeah, and he had these those canvas bags, right?
Yeah.
So he would carry two of them in each hand. And his book bag, and he always bulked for the bus. And I just remember one time I saw it was a lot of stuff that he was running with, and he ran fast, dude. He ran.
He was quick. He
ran like Sonic.
Could you imagine if he had good form?
Yeah, dude. And I almost saw him die, and I was like, damn, dude, that would have sucked. But now I wonder what those people do.
A lot of them become engineers. I went to college with them.
But if there's like a fire, right?
Yeah.
Imagine like seeming like just totally the coolest dude in the room, and a fire breaks out and you just bolt out into Naruto, and you're like, your friends are like, what happened?
Yeah. Do you think that's instinctual for them, or do you think they have to think about it every time that they start to run?
It becomes instinctual.
They just like that's the motion. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Man. Parenting's really gone downhill. Like, I think this happened because we can't hit our kids anymore.
Oh, dude, I'd hit my kids if I had them. God forbid, you know.
That is one of my theories. The only reason TikTok exists is because of the anti-bullying campaigns.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I was growing up, if anyone did half the shit that was on TikTok, they'd be bullied mercilessly.
Oh, dude,
we got rid of bullying in schools, and now TikTok's the biggest app.
Yeah, I miss the days of when World Star Hip Hop was huge. Oh, yeah. You know, those were good. Those were some good things.
The dark days of the internet.
Yeah. That was like the urban 4chan, you know?
All right, now that we've made fun of anime, let's talk about it as earnestly as fucking possible.
Do you watch?
You're a okay, so here's my background with anime. I kind of growing up, I watched a lot of it. That was like, I watched Naruto, Dragon Ball Z I never really got into too much. I watched like Yu Yu Hakusho for a while.
Okay.
One Piece, like all the Toonami shows, plus all the Hayao Miyazaki movies.
Okay.
That's like my anime knowledge base is like shows as a kid, the movies as a kid, and now as an adult. It's kind of like if something's really good, like if someone tells me, like I've been meaning to rewatch Spirited Away for the last like 2 years.
Dude, that movie is a fucking trip.
Yeah, it's like it's a really good movie, and I'm like, great. I know I will like this.
I showed my partner what the fuck is it called? Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes, great one.
And they just bawled their eyes out. It was so beautiful. Yeah, I felt so good.
I saw all those like Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, My Neighbor Totoro, like
Princess Mononoke,
Princess Mononoke. Yeah. Cartoon Network, like once after 10 o'clock hit, they would play those like those ones that were more violent.
Fooly Cooly is my favorite of all time. Just heads up. They played that on Cartoon Network. From what I remember, it was like some Toonami stuff.
I don't know if I ever caught that one.
That's good. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my knowledge base of anime. I'm excited to learn more about from you, like the culture, like where it came from, because I don't know anything about the history of it. All I know is just like, oh yeah, there's animation from Japan that's got like a very unique style. Yeah,
I mean, I guess it blew up a lot. I don't know. It's changed throughout the years. Like if you look at the styles of like how they draw the characters and stuff. But I think a lot of people would say like the thing that kicked it off, right? Or like brought it into like the limelight was like Akira, you know?
Yeah.
Like and Akira, there's like.
So what is Akira for?
Akira is like the story about this. It's just dudes on motorcycles and like mutation. It's some crazy shit, right? And what's so cool about anime is that like that. So that shot. What's so cool about Akira is that motorcycle shot. There's a motor shot. They go like this. They go like that, right? And then it's. I don't even know how to describe it. I should because I work in film. But I never pay attention. But that's been used in so much anime, like in so many forms of media. Yeah. You know, if you like, what's it called? If you watch like Tarantino. You know, that dude's shots are sometimes like, you're like, this is like an anime, you know? Like, it's like, I don't know, it's very stylized.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Like, Kill Bill, and I think he said this, was like, no, that was meant to be very, like, Japanese anime style. Like, the hard cuts
the
to
katanas really didn't give it away.
The katana, But it's like, it's even more than it's like how they cut from scene to scene and the dialogue and how they talk to each other.
Yeah, there were a lot of shots, and then you see some movies do it now, you know? Yeah. And then it's so weird because like I don't know, I've been watching Chainsaw Man, right? Okay. I don't know if you saw it. No. It's so good. But they've been they have a lot of homages to like those classic like Goodfellas, Tarantino. They pay an homage to Tarantino, all that stuff. So like Scorsese, like it's I don't know, it goes back and forth now, you know? I guess it's so like into
plays off of each other.
And then obviously like Miyazaki was like a big deal, you know? I think like if anyone watched, I don't know if anyone like grew up in like 03, 04, you know, like they fucking traumatized by Spirited Away.
Yes.
You know?
unless you were like, I'm only watching the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Then you missed it. Like,
Well,
I got a cousin
cable.
like that who had no idea. But yeah, every kid that didn't have cable for some reason had Cartoon Network.
Oh, dude, no, I had no cable, but I stayed in hotels a lot. Not because I was rich. It was actually the opposite. But but I remember the first time I watched Spirited Away was with my dad, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And we were both, I was like 7, and I was like so speechless by the time, like.
That's pretty intense for a 7-year-old.
So intense, yeah.
Yeah.
In the first 6 minutes, the parents turn into pigs. You know,
yes.
like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like,
and then ghosts start chasing this girl,
and then
it's
just
yeah.
there's a point. I don't know if you remember. It's actually really gross because like there's a point where who the fuck is this character? The No Face or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He like throws up, like he like yaks, and it's very graphic.
Yeah.
You know how like he vomits all over the place. And it was somehow, I think it was rated like G or PG, you know? And everyone's like, yeah, this is fine. This is good for kids.
Yeah. Well, it's animated. I think people were like, oh, if it's animated, then it can't be that bad.
Anything can happen,
like,
you know?
I don't know, man. These things get pretty violent sometimes. They were never sexual, though, which is why I think we're probably
a lot of anime. I mean, a lot of the things.
Well, sure.
Now,
it's like,
yeah,
that's true. I take it back. It was pretty overtly sexual.
Yeah, I mean the nosebleeds. Remember that? Do you remember that era? There was an era of anime a little later where like people would have like these crazy like it was like very hyperbolized.
Yeah,
and it'd be like the nosebleeds after like you see a hot chick or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's go back a little bit. So you mentioned Miyazaki.
Yeah,
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's probably the most famous anime director, writer, producer person in America, at least.
I'd say especially like mainstream stuff here. Like he's if everyone's seen Miyazaki.
Yeah,
you know.
So that's like Spirited Away, Ponyo, Howl's Moving Castle.
I'd say it's as
My
iconic.
Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that's as iconic as that would be like Cowboy Bebop. You know, but nobody, you know, not a lot of people like who watched it really know the director because they were too high to remember. But like, I don't fucking know the guy's name either. You know, I actually didn't like Cowboy Bebop, so it was like really.
Yeah, never saw the original, and then that live action one came out, and I was like, well, if it's good, I'll watch it. And then everyone was like,
horrible. But here's the thing, right? So like someone edited a laugh track, like did a rendition of that.
Okay.
But if it was like Seinfeld, and it was fucking great. Like I was like, if you add the laugh track in, it actually is pretty good. Like I fuck with it a lot.
What's that say about laugh track shows?
Laugh track shows are
like they'd be awful without them.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the laugh track. I'll disagree with you on there. I hate a laugh track.
They tell me what to feel.
Yeah,
you know?
fair. It's good for
I'm
autistic
too lazy to
people.
feel. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like Miyazaki, like he didn't invent the style. Like how old is the style? This is what I want to like. Do you know this type of stuff?
I didn't go
getting
to
into
college and study it,
for sure. This is why it's called kind of an expert.
Yeah,
it's like you're not a fucking
I don't
professor.
know, but what I do know is that Akira was like. That was the one thing that a lot of older nerds would reference. They'd be like, "Oh, like Akira, right?" And they're like, "I guess, dude. Like, yeah, you know." I didn't see
just
Akira
give me the weed that I'm trying to buy.
Yeah,
Stop
basically,
talking.
yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's so annoying. But yeah. And then I don't know. Dragon Ball Z was also a big one that people loved so much, you know. And then all the shonens.
Yes. Yeah. So which came first? I guess was it movies or TV show?
I think movies. Movies actually.
It was the movies.
I feel like the movies got big.
Into...
And then I want to say Sailor Moon was also like a big deal back when it came out. But like, I mean, that's way too like that's so my like the generation before me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it was like I did. I don't know. Mine was I want to say mine was like Naruto and like and then Last Airbender, which was like American, but it was the style of that, and that was really cool. Like I guess that's kind of when it came into like mainstream Western culture, which I thought was pretty sick. You know?
Right. Yeah, I think Avatar: Last Airbender, which is that animated one, not the movie, and then not Avatar, the one with the blue people. That was
the blue people.
I do.
Did you see the trailer for the new one? It's really awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I really want it to be good.
Makes me very uncomfortable.
But I guess if it's not, it'll save me $20 on a movie ticket. So
I'll just pirate it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but I want to watch it in a movie. You know, like that's the type of movie I want to watch in a movie theater. But the Last Airbender was kind of the first like anime animated show where like it wasn't just like my super nerdy friends that were watching it.
Yeah, because it was so heartwarming.
Yeah.
Dude,
it was fun. I think like anime, from what I remember of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, because there's obviously instances where it's like not the case. Like My Neighbor Totoro is going to be an outlier to this example, but for the most part, I thought that anime took itself very seriously.
Yeah, okay, so like I'm obviously, I feel like I'm too young to really commentate on it, but I feel like comedy and anime did not become a thing for a really long time. And I want to say that like I guess it, like, I mean, it was there, right? But like I guess none of my friends ever said, "Oh, this show's really funny."
Right.
Until like probably like I want to say like 10 years ago. Maybe I think, I mean, there were still hyperboles and stuff. And it was
sure,
so good, but like it making its way into Western culture, like it was very like I don't know. There's some really good like funny.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like One Piece. I always thought was like pretty funny. That always had a sense of humor to it. What was the animated show with the dude with the afro where his nose hairs would grow and he would fight people with his nose hairs?
I've never heard of that.
It was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So dumb.
The
whole thing was a comedy.
Yeah,
but it was like so niche. Like nobody was really watching it. Even my family, my brothers and I were like, that show's too fucking weird.
That's really weird. I want to watch it.
I need to Google
now I'm
this.
Gonna watch this. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's so funny. Yeah, I think I remember like there were funny moments, but I don't think comedy was ever like, at least in American, like, and I can only speak from like someone who lived in, who lives in America. It was never like a big factor until recently, Yeah. It's like One Punch Man was like, I think that was the first one where I heard everybody be like, "Oh, this is hilarious."
Yeah,
It
was Bo.
Oh,
you remember that one?
I recognize this guy. Yeah.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah," because you see the ads. Like you saw the ads on there. That show was kind of a comedy, but nobody. I don't know. Nobody really latched onto it in the same way. It was kind of like, if I was older, it would have been like, I'm too stoned to change the channel, so I'm just gonna keep watching this.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was like, I'm going to bed. Fuck this.
Yeah, that's when it got weird. Like that. Oh, also like nobody. If you want to talk about American culture and anime, fucking Boondocks.
Sure.
You can't.
I still never saw it.
One.
That's
really
one that I'm like, I know I should have seen.
It's classic. Like that whole.
That and The Wire.
Yeah. Both very similar.
That's what I've heard.
The Wire, but anime.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was Boondocks was pretty cool too.
So how did that come about? When did American studios kind of start saying like, oh, there might be something here, like we should put research, or was it always just like weird, like a weird little studio that put something together and then it just happened to take off?
Man, that's crazy. It's so weird because you can never, at least for me, I could never gauge it, to be honest. I could never gauge it because like I was watching it the whole time, right?
Sure.
So like I guess like how you drive and sometimes like when you're driving you see other people and they fuck up and you're like, oh man, but you fuck up too, but you don't know that you're fucking up, right? It's you don't see what's happening because you're in it, right? So I guess like I don't know, like one of my favorite anime studios is Gainax, right? Gainax is what
have they
so
made?
Neon Genesis Evangelion was like huge, right? That's the mecha one. And then after that it was like, I don't know, I'm just naming the ones that I remember, but like that, and then Fulukuli, and then like you saw, and then I think it was Fulukuli, and then after that there were like a few more, and then it was Gurren Lagann. And as you watch these shows, shows from the studio, you kind of saw their budget grow, right?
Okay.
And then, so something weird happened. So Gainax, like, ended. It shut down, but a lot of the guys created Trigger, right? And Trigger was like this new studio. And then you watch Trigger, which is basically Gainax, and you're like, oh man, these people are like, Kill la Kill was huge, panty and stocking with garter belt was like really popular in America. I don't know if you remember. Have you ever watched Panty and Stocking?
No.
It's just profanity. Like it's just it's profanity. Everyone's
we
animated.
do love that here.
Yeah, everyone's animated like fucking Dexter's Laboratory. Okay. It's about like two angels who are casted out of heaven. One's like one is lust and one is like gluttony. And together, the only way they could get back in is if they fight demons. You know. Okay. And it's just so perverted.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's so good. It's fucking great. It's hentai basically, but it's really funny and did really well here apparently. But you see these budgets get like bigger and bigger, and then recently, Trigger made what the fuck is it called? Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and you know that's when you're like oh it kind of is bleeding into it slowly, you know, like so I saw I followed a lot of that. And I was like, oh, you kind of just see it happen. I think it's because like more people start to watch it, and then eventually the budgets get bigger, and then they get so big that people notice it. You know, like Attack on Titan, like created a whole new generation.
Yes.
Of anime fans.
That is.
I have an Attack on Titan jacket.
You should have worn it. What are you doing,
dude? I would.
This is your one chance to talk anime on a podcast. You fucked up.
I would, but I'm too fat now. Like I am too
well, you
fat.
Quit with the cocaine.
I know, right? Yeah, I got to get back on that. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually going to ask about Attack on Titan because that one it kind of popped off when I went to college, when I was in college. So I knew people that were watching it, but I was not watching anime in college. I was getting laid. So
nice.
No, I'm kidding. I wasn't. My school was all dudes.
I will say though, anime nerds do fuck.
They fuck a lot.
It's disgusting.
Yep.
But they do fuck.
Put it all online.
It's really it's like regular sex but sweatier. It's really gross.
It's regular sex covered in Dorito dust.
Yeah. It's actually it's regular sex but with Pocky. Actually,
great. You just put a rubber band around like 10 Pockies, and then there you go.
I hate that
should be the right width.
I hate to admit it, but I have and this is what makes me kind of an expert is that I have had cosplay sex.
Yes.
And it's
all right.
I'm
gonna save that. That's a teaser for the rest of the episode. So I wanted to end with cosplay. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so Attack on Titan, I kind of missed. How did that start? Where did that come from? That felt so natural. Where it's just like I looked up one day and every person at my engineering school was like, "Oh yeah, Attack on Titan, it's the best." I was like, "How did I miss this?"
I feel like Attack on Titan was like the Pop Smoke of anime, you know, like you just came out of nowhere, ran it good.
I had the exact same feeling about Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Whereas like it gave me that feeling, I was like, am I that old that I just missed this? Like I feel like I should be young enough to have seen this coming.
Yeah, it blew up. It
was like Billie Eilish.
Yeah,
it was just like one day she was on SNL and you're like, she was 16 the day before. And you're like, what the fuck?
That was so weird. Yeah.
So Attack on Titan, it just why is it so great? Where did
so
that come from?
Good,
give me the rundown.
It?
No, I haven't watched it. I missed it. So give me the rundown. Like, what is the general plot? And like, how did it take America
by storm? Like that. Good. You know, sometimes like I don't know. It's like Parasite and like Korean films. Yes. You know, like eventually everyone was like, "Oh, these are pretty fire." You know.
Yeah.
And I think okay, so I remember I don't know because like it's tough for me to say because I live in New York. You know, and I'm from New York, so everyone here kind of like we all just knew about everything basically, just because you had to. You know, that's how I made all my black friends. By the way, they were like, "Oh, you watch Bleach?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I watch Bleach. Watch Dragon Ball Z," and you know, that's how. Anyway, we can edit that one out. But yeah, no, I remember. I remember everyone was like talking about it one day, and if it was without revealing anything, it's about like these I don't know. It's like a bunch of people live within these walls, and outside there are just these giants that eat people. And there is and the militia goes out and fights them, you know. And one day something changes.
Sure.
One day the wall breaks and all hell breaks loose. You know? And then the story goes on from there.
We love a survival story like that.
I fucking love survival stories. Dude, Promised Neverland is also a great survival story.
Promised Neverland.
Yeah. That's
might need
to
get a list after this.
Oh, dude, I'll give you a good one. Yeah,
everyone
it's dope. Yeah. There's a lot of eating in it. Like a lot of people eat. Yeah. It's very. But yeah, it's these giants and like the animation. I think it's because, and anyone who knows anime might correct me if I'm wrong, but they were the first people to do 3D animation or like CG it, or I don't know, because like there was when Attack on Titan happened, the shots were like nothing else, right? So like okay, so like there's like this giant, right? And I guess like I don't know what the fuck happened between the technology and I mean I don't know, because Naruto also did it too. Naruto also had like these amazing fight scenes. But there were scenes of like this dude
4 episodes to get there.
Yeah. It was very Dragon Ball Z-esque.
Oh my god, it was infuriating.
Yeah.
That was why I stopped watching it. Like, I loved Naruto. Like I loved the story. I loved the characters, like all this other stuff, but it was like sit there and you gotta wait an entire week to sit there for 20 minutes and watch them like talk to each other and just build up a fight.
Dude,
that
that's why
barely happened. It takes like 6 seconds.
That's
and you're
why
like,
I stopped watching Death Note, actually. I never finished Death Note because Death Note, I was like, you guys are just doing the same shit over and over again.
It's brutal.
I thought it was good, though.
I was actually going to bring up the pacing. Is that a thing with Attack on Titan? Because that is a pretty main complaint with anime TV shows. The pacing is so slow.
It was slow for a little bit, and then it got faster. Surprising, like a lot. Like it was actually kind of surprising at how fast it escalated. It's weird because anime is usually given like a 12 episode run, sort of like, or like new like super original ones will get like a 12 or like a 24. Sometimes a 10, right? And like Attack on Titan, I want to say it was like a 26.
Wow.
And it was like slow, but like it didn't matter because there was so much action, you know? So like there were shots of like, you know, they're like flying around and shit, right? To fight these giants. And like you would have the camera like, or like the scene be like, it would be like moving like this, and then the person would be spinning at the same time. And it's just such a crazy amount of like the shots you would get. You're like, there's some things where when I watch them, I'm like, I understand why this is animated, because it needs to, because you can't get the shot in real life, or you can, and it would be super annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
Weren't they talking about doing a live action Attack on Titan?
They did. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Was it any good?
Well, I heard about it for a week. And so I'm assuming it wasn't, but I could be wrong. You know, there could be some die hard, you know, Attack on Titan live action truthers out there.
I'm sure we could find somebody online. Hit us up if you love the live action.
if you like it more than the anime.
You can DM Josh, tell him that he should die for his opinion. And
if you liked it more than the book.
Exactly. Okay. So it was just good.
Yeah, it's great. And then the big one after that I remember that got big around like people that I knew was Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill was, and I'm talking like, by the way, like I just want to preface this when like I'm talking about Attack on Titan and stuff. There was so much other anime that was so good before Attack on Titan. They like so good. And it was like, it was absurd how good it was. Like Naruto, Bleach, you got your big four, you know, One Piece, all that stuff. Like, but this was the first one that really broke. You know what it was? Also, was because Attack on Titan was very accessible to people. It was accessible in a way where you didn't have to watch. Like I would love to get into One Piece, right? But it's 1,500 fucking episodes.
Yeah,
and I have a very short life span left, you know, like that would take me my entire fucking life to catch up. It's great. And by the way, the people who get into One Piece now, it's like if you watched like every season of every sport to catch up, you know, and then you remembered all. It's like there's no point, you know.
So
like,
Attack on Titan, there's 26 episodes flat.
No, no. It kept going.
Okay.
But it was new. It was original, and it was accessible.
Okay.
It was like you didn't need to know anything about it. Like there was nothing else to watch before. You could not read the manga, and then you watch it, and you're like, oh, this is fucking sick, you know. But like I don't know, like fucking One Piece, Bleach took. Oh my god, dude, there's so many fucking chapters in Bleach, dude. Like I wouldn't. Naruto, same thing.
Same.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. You would like. I don't know if you ever did this, But you would go to the library, right? And then you would like sit down and get all the fucking Naruto manga, and then you blaze through all of them.
That is what I did, because the show was going too slow.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to the library, reading the manga. It was that, and then the Pokemon manga.
You read the Pokemon manga?
Oh yeah,
I didn't even read the Pokemon manga.
It was so much better than the show, because it was like, it was a little grittier. It had more action.
It had blood.
It had like evolution. Like in the show, like all the animals, all the Pokemon, they wanted them to stay cute.
Yeah.
But in the manga, they were like, nah, this thing's fucking mean now. And you're like, yes. Like, give me a Blastoise that's legitimately evil.
By the way, small side note, my favorite Pokemon in the world is Dragonite.
Okay.
Because Dratini and Dragonair look so like graceful, and then you just have this fucking dopey looking motherfucker,
Italian
that can't
looking
fly.
dragon.
Yeah, that looks like he's there to fix your plumbing
like
or
Tony
something.
Soprano,
like he looks like he has a union job. You know, like
that is awesome. Yeah. It
like
went from like super feminine to just like this man.
The final evolution of Dragonite was
really funny.
He joins Local 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Union jobs are drying up. Like you find him at the bar, beer and a shot.
That's the thing.
Give me another one.
You never gave them like a stoner or whatever. Like the way you evolved Dragonair was he took his OSHA 30s.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man. I'm glad you brought up manga, because I was gonna ask what you thought of the theory that anime kind of brought in all of the comic book and graphic novel stuff that we have today. Because like I think about like Watchmen, or I think about like Preacher, or all those like kind of grittier graphic novels. I don't know if they would have been turned into TV shows if like these mangas didn't turn into animes, which turned into these like massive fucking shows. Like, is there a correlation there that you know about, or
it's just there's a correlation for me? Like,
okay,
so like when Chainsaw Man was coming out, right? It looked fucking sick. Like the trailer was sick. It was so cool, dude. And someone did a video. I don't know if I can plug any other fucking channels. He has like a bajillion channels. But like, if there is one person who I like for anime reviews, this dude Giguk on YouTube has great fucking reviews on shit like that. So this dude did like something about like manga, right? And that got me into like, what are the creator of Chainsaw Man's other works? I'm like, you discover some some weird fucking shit. Like the dude made something called Fire Punch, right?
Yeah.
And it's about these people who have superpowers in the future, right? And the world is ended. It's cold everywhere, right? And this dude's superpower is that he can regenerate, right?
Okay.
And his village is dying, so they just chop up his bodies constantly and feed the villagers, right?
Okay.
Crazy stuff.
Wow.
And then there's this other dude, right? And then on one day, this group of explorers come from another village. And the dude, one of their powers, one of this guy's powers, one of the explorer's powers is that it's called like eternal flame, right? And what it does is he can just light someone on fire and they burn until they die, right? And what better way to start off the manga by lighting the dude who can regenerate, like on fire? So the whole manga is just him on fire. Like that's forever awesome. And just burning forever.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's Fire Punch. And it's fucking great.
That's so good.
And like it's surprisingly very dramatic and also like a very hardcore. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, whoa, this is like really this makes me uncomfortable, but I'll read it, you know?
Right.
But yeah, Chainsaw Man, equally fucking fun.
Okay.
Know? Yeah.
Okay. Should we get into the
cosplay
part of this?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it is like you can't say it's not like a massive part of anime. Yeah. It came after like how I want to know the history of this stuff.
Cosplay is how I got laid.
There you go. Hey, whatever it takes, you know. Whatever it takes. So when you got anime, it doesn't really like.
Can I grab my vape and smoke it? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can edit this part out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit! I need the mic to talk.
Did you get it? Okay, you got it.
Cool. Yeah, I got it, Joel. Is that okay? Cool.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. Cool. Go for it.
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry. Cosplay.
Yeah. So cosplay. So Does that start with anime, or is there another thing that kind of kicks off cosplay and then cosplay adapts anime? I want the history of it. Like, did it start in Japan and come over just like anime did, or like?
I don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't know, but I remember, I guess, like, I don't know, I followed a few cosplayers, and they would show like photos of them from like 1995. So I'm assuming these people have done it forever. You know, like it's always, because I don't know, like how many times have you watched something and you were like, I want to be that person. You know? Every
day when I watch better comics on stage.
Exactly.
Like, how do I cosplay as Tom Segura?
How do I cosplay Dave Chappelle? Yeah. So, you know, like you watch anime, and I watched anime, and like there were like parts of me that was like, I want to be that dude.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I think
I'm
you
cool
learn
enough.
all the Naruto hand signals and shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I knew kids who knew that. You know, that's the same reason why people run like fucking like that. You know, because they want to be, I don't know, fucking Naruto or whatever. You know.
Yeah, their dad's a bad example, so they pick cartoon characters.
Yeah. Their dad also runs like that. But
that's just a family thing. We passed that down for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years. That's so funny. So like I don't know, I guess it just like came about, like I guess it's always been around, you know. And I mean that's how I got into it, because my friend got into it, because I had a friend in high school who was really into it, and this dude is like super cool, and he was like dressing up, and I was like, oh dude, I want to do that too, you know, like I think it's pretty cool. I could meet people. I went to an all guys high school for 2 years, and I was like, man, I gotta fucking, because I mean like, you know, you look at just, I don't know, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm not ugly. I gotta fucking, but I am socially awkward. So we gotta figure, we gotta find a median for this, you know?
Yeah.
And I fucking loved anime. So I was like, all right, I'll cosplay, you know? I'll have fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your first cosplay?
First cosplay, this is disgusting.
Sailor Moon.
No, dude, that would have been cool. That would have been fucking sick. It actually wasn't an anime. It was, what's his name? Fucking, this dude from Homestuck. I don't know if
Homestuck. No,
Homestuck was the one thing that I read that was insanely long. And to be honest, I didn't read a lot of it. I just my friend got, you know,
enough of it to dress up.
There were these cosplay meetups, right?
Yeah.
And everyone there read Homestuck, and I was like, well, I gotta fit in. You know, I can't just go to a Jets game without knowing at least one player's name.
Sure.
So I was like, fuck it, let me read some Homestuck. And it was like a pretty simple cosplay. It was just like a shirt and like a button down or whatever. I'll send you a photo of it actually. If you want to edit that in, you know, like if you want to.
No, I'm not gonna put that much effort into this
video. I'll give you a spicy little 15-year-old, 14-year-old Josh. You know, it's also how I got my first girlfriend actually.
I'm just gonna look at the photo and be like, oh yeah, I see how you got laid. I want to fuck you right now,
dude. I looked like a baby. Like it was so weird. I look back then.
You look young now, so there's no way you could look older than 8 when you're 15.
So like when I saw myself back then, I was like, yo, I'm so old. Because I looked so young back then. Then now I look at myself and I'm like, yo, I'm old as shit, man.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking horrible.
You look like the dad from Parasite.
That's what I think, dude. I was like, yo, I look like this dude more than what that kid
you're
was.
Good. Don't worry about it.
I hope so. Yeah. It's the lack of cocaine. But yeah. Anyways, it was. That's how I made friends and stuff. You know.
Okay.
Because like I don't know, I went to a Catholic high school. Like I couldn't relate to anyone.
Sure.
You know.
So there's like, give me the different levels of cosplay, right? Because everybody's seen like, especially with TikTok, there's a lot of cosplay on TikTok. Everybody's seen like the woman that goes like all out, where she looks like the character, like full makeup, full outfit, like all that other stuff. When you go to a convention, give me the rundown of like percentages. How many people just aren't dressed up at all? How many people do something simple like what you're doing? And then how many of them are like almost at the paid actor level where you're like, God damn, you put 10,000 hours into doing this.
So there's a lot of, this is like a whole topic within itself, I feel like.
Please.
But like there's a lot of controversy in the cosplay community because, well, at least when I was in it, right? Of like, it's hard to cosplay a character sometimes, and especially as like person, like I don't know if you've seen anime, but a lot of them are not the same color as me. So you know, it really limited my options, if you will. You know,
sure.
And I remember like it was so hard for me to find, because like some of my friends were like, oh well, you can't do that, you're not like that, and I was like, okay, dude.
I think that's your friend's problem.
You're right. Yeah, I was like, I guess it's a friend's problem. I guess I'll go bang your girlfriends.
Yeah, right.
Which I did. But
be like, no, you can't wear Aaron Donald's jersey because he's black, you're white. It's like, I'm just supporting, man. Like,
yeah, it was like, well, it was like that. They were like, well, this character's very pale, you're not, so like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, Christ. I don't know. We all have fake swords at the end of the day, so I don't know. I don't know what you fucking want. I don't know. You're a white dude wearing a kimono.
None of us can light each other on fire now, can we? So,
so we're going nowhere. But yeah, so like, I think my first like big cosplay that I was really proud of was Mako from Legend of Korra.
Okay.
And it was and I did some, I grew up like doing like martial arts and stuff, so I knew all the fucking dude, I looked so sick. Nice. It was dope. Yeah. And I made it myself. I sewed the whole fucking I bought the fabric in the fashion in the fabric district or whatever, and then I fucking sewed the whole thing together, and then I cinched my arm real bad, but it was so cool, and people thought I was the coolest dude. There were people who were like, you look just like him. I was like, I fucking know, dude. Yeah, and then, but honestly, like, there's, at the end of the day, and I really want to make this clear as someone who's been in the community and stuff, and like, you do it for fun. You do it because you really like having, it's just a fun thing to do. There's no like, and then obviously they're like paid professionals, but it's like,
there's always gonna like the conventions, the people are gonna pay people to show up. Like music festivals do it, Renaissance fairs do it.
Yeah,
it's just like
Yeah, Comic-Con is like Burning Man, but like surprisingly, they take more showers than the people who go to Burning Man.
I mean, there aren't showers at Burning Man, but yeah, I get you. Yeah, I mean, it's escapist, right?
Yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah,
you can. It's just like the furries. No, I'm just.
Although there was a lot of crossover between like anime people and like, furry people, and like. We thought that those people were fucking disgusting. We did like people who were like bronies. We were like, dude, you're fucking weird.
Those. I mean, anything that's like outwardly meant for children that they get obsessed with. That was like, I knew a couple of guys in high school, and I think I asked them about it, and they're like, it's just a good show, and I was sitting there going like. It's not, man. Like, there's something else going on here.
It's not. And I'll say this, like, I mean, I guess it's a great show for kids. Sure. I will say that, like, as the animation is, from what I've seen, really good.
Yeah.
But it's really not something that I want to watch, Like, I don't get high and I'm like, I want to see ponies talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... I want to see dudes just be weird to women and turn into chainsaws, like that's what I want,
Sure.
Yeah.
The
Chainsaw Man's so
whatever
fucking
floats
good,
your
dude.
boat,
But I will say that like furries apparently, actually no, I don't, not apparently, they fuck. And they ruin hotels apparently.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, they are fucking weird. They do fuck like rabbits. You know what I mean? They're very weird people, but props to you if you're a furry. I guess I don't know. Like that's a whole costume. Those things are expensive too. They're like $300.
How many times have you looked into that?
I have. You know what? Because my friend had like a fursuit, and they were like saving up for this thing, and it's not weird. And I was like, it's fucking weird, dude. like you're not a hedgehog. No. You're a human being.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing at the end of the day.
You gotta look. If you're gonna be into it, then like be into it. I'm not here to yuck somebody's yum, but you gotta own it.
Somebody's yum.
You gotta own it. You gotta be like, yeah, this is weird as shit. I'm weird as shit, and this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then if they do that, you're like, all right, good for you. Like, don't hurt anybody.
By the way, small side note: furry people are also like I've met furries who are like so judgmental. Like they'll be like I've seen like I have a friend on Facebook who's still like a furry, but they'll make like jokes about people with a foot fetish, and I'm like, wait, like, listen, I think it's weird too.
What?
But the severity of what you guys are both doing.
That foot is a hoof. I am not interested. That shit is gross.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't know, but I mean, I can't commentate.
Man.
I'm a vanilla boy, so I don't know. And I was as neutral as Switzerland. I was like, you guys hash it out.
You gotta stay neutral on those things.
Toes or claws, like I don't.
Look, I think comedians are at an advantage because there is every type of person that does comedy. Yeah. This is what people get wrong. They think like, oh, it's one type of person that does comedy. It's like, no. Every type of person has the comedian like trope in it. Yeah. And so we have seen so many different types of people that like I would argue comedians are way more accepting of other weird shit because we've seen everything.
Sure,
we're like, oh, you're a furry who's into like getting your dick rubbed by feet. It's like, I don't know, I've seen worse.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, at least you're not a fucking pedophile.
At least you're not a pedophile.
At least you're not a weirdo,
like, yeah, so it's like, I don't know. A lot of people are always going to try to look at their weird thing and look down on someone else's weird thing just to make themselves feel better.
That is true, yeah.
I think that goes all the way down. Like, I don't think there's a bottom where there's some guy who's like into the worst shit possible going like, yeah, no, I'm the worst. Like, pedophiles are also making fun of furries. They're like, well, I'll fuck kids, but
that
like,
would suck, dude. Man.
You think pedophiles are like, nah, they got to figure. I wish I was a furry. They're better than us.
That'd be really weird, dude. That'd be so funny. At least I don't dress up as a fox.
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ew, gross.
I'm assuming most people at these conventions, they're just going to like hang out, see the vibes, see the people in the costumes.
Yeah, I
right?
guess it changed a lot, to be honest.
Okay.
I think so like when I was going, it was very cosplay hang oriented. But I feel like conventions have really caught up with the times. So they're very like icon based, and if you aren't an icon, then why the fuck would you cosplay? Like it's very like I remember the last time I went, there was such a little cosplay and there was such little hangouts.
Sure.
Like you couldn't meet people anymore. And I went to one of the after parties, and it was also equally as awful. Actually, the after party was all right, but like there was not. I don't know. It's like it didn't seem as solid of a community as it was when I was like in it, Well,
it's gotten bigger.
It's gotten way bigger, and I think that's the problem is like as things get more mainstream, like more people come in to it, obviously, and like sometimes those people like they don't make the community worse, but it's definitely more like it's very individualized, you know. Like now, if I tell someone nowadays, right, that I cosplay, right, like I guess some people would find it weird, but at the same time, like some people are like, yeah, I guess that's like another thing you could use for comedy. Ugh, like like it's all just into that, and like I don't cosplay anymore, but
it's what you're saying about the mainstream, I think that's hitting the nail on the head, because you look at like comic books and the same thing is happening.
Dude,
where
it's
just like it's gotten so much bigger. But like before, I mean in the 80s or whatever, like we can use Dungeons and Dragons because Stranger Things just came out, the same thing, and it's
sick.
like that was like Dungeons and Dragons. Like I remember I got invited when I was like 9. We were camping at this campsite, and some other kids were like, hey, do you want to come over and play Dungeons and Dragons? And I was like, I don't know what that is, I'll just watch or whatever. And I came back and my mom was like pissed off. She was like, you are not allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Why?
Like that game is violent, that's crazy. And I was sitting there, I was like, it's a board game, I didn't even understand what was going on. It was just like someone was saying like, oh, there's a dragon and now you have to hit that. But like in the 80s when my mom was in high school, it was like the Satanists were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
But it was so wholesome, really. It was just
right. Yeah. We know that now. So in the one way, like the judgment has gone down, but in the other way, like there's not a selective community anymore. It's just like, oh, you play Dungeons and Dragons? Oh, cool. Yeah, I know like 12 people.
All my friends
all my friends from high school are in like a group.
Check out my fucking podcast where we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we live stream it on Twitch. You should tune in.
Oh my God.
You throw a couple bucks at me.
Yeah. That's so funny. D&D, I love D&D so much. It was just dragons and simple math. You know, like it was like it was pretty cool.
Yeah, roll for
I
attack.
actually had the best time at a cosplay meetup after, because we all went to McDonald's and my friend, like one of our friends, had a D&D board game, and we did like a one-off where he fought Ron Paul, and he was like a Titan and
he
stuff.
Was
like
in
we
one
made
of the
up our
furry
own
costumes. Wasn't he?
Yeah. He had fox ears. Like it was crazy.
Fuck.
But But it was like the best, dude. It was the best time, you know? Like, I do miss those communities because I feel like they're not there anymore. You know, a lot of us grew up, obviously. Like, a lot of us got jobs.
Yeah, so. That's true. There is a little bit of aging out. But I guess in that vein, like, what are the new communities that are kind of popping up? Or are there any?
I feel like it's blended all together. I feel like, I don't know. I don't really see as much cosplaying, you know? I guess... I don't know. So my brother is super into anime, right? And obviously, you know, and like all that stuff. He's a little nerdier than me, and his friends are a little more wholesome, so he does it. And you know what? You know what's really cool? And this is like a really nice thing to say. As we continue to talk, like he has a group of wholesome people. They all cosplay. They all like did a little thing together. And I saw photos, and like as much of an oversaturated. As much as oversaturation is a factor of every community that used to be very niche and very wholesome, there are still like little diamonds in the rough of like kids who fucking just want to hang out and be nerds and dress up as fucking, you know, kids with swords, you know, and that's I think that's really cool, you know, and that's also a time in my life that I'll look fondly back at.
Totally,
and I hope that people still do that, you know, and I hope people still do have that like little community, you know.
I think kids are always going to be like better.
Yeah,
they're always going to have that element to it. Now, whether it flips to all digital, where like they start pretending in like Roblox or something, as opposed to like in their backyard.
Yeah.
Like we had to when we were growing up. I think kids are always going to find other little groups.
Yeah,
there.
they got this. I really believe that I think really it's just like, I don't know, people who are in their like 20s who are like, well, I got to make something out of it now. And it's like, well, why can't you just fucking enjoy it, dude?
You mean like what we're doing with comedy?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Jesus. We are the problem.
Yeah. Maybe I'll
you know how
cosplay
comedy's
on stage,
fun? Let's make it not that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll dress up as Naruto next time I host a show.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
Yeah.
You should. So I think like we got 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Tell me if you want to go in a different direction, if there's something you want to talk about. My thought was gaming.
Okay, cool.
How it's kind of shifted into
we can
gaming.
Blaze through it, yeah.
And I'm thinking of League of Legends specifically.
And that's because there's so many hot fucking chicks in
so
League of
many
Legends.
hot babes in League of Legends.
Every League of Legends character is drawn exactly the same. And it's like if you asked an incel what his perfect woman would look like, like it would be that, you know, like it was just every hot, like so hot. You know?
I don't know this for a fact, but I always assumed they did that for hitboxes. Because in video game, you have to have different hitboxes for the different characters. And so, like, you can have large, medium, and small characters. So if you get, like, almost all the women, they're going to be in the small box. So they all have to look the same because they all have to fit into the same hitbox.
I mean, I don't know. Alawi was pretty fucking massive.
Sure.
You know? Like,
well, yeah. Then you put it in the bigger hitbox. But I mean, like culturally, I feel like video games, like when they were starting off, were kind of like Galaga, Pac-Man, like kind of like circular, pixely, and then you kind of get Mario and Zelda, and it's like. That could definitely get into cosplay, but now, especially online video games, I feel like have totally just kind of gone the route of like, this is essentially anime, but in video game format. And then they turn around like League of Legends did and create Arcane, which is essentially like anime, but with Borderlands drawing style, which I do love that drawing style.
Dope. It was so cool. It also started a whole new wave of animation, really. You know?
Oh, yeah. Like Love, Death, and Robots, I think did a good job of showcasing like, here's all the different animation styles we could do. Now hire these fucking people.
Also, Dota 2 was an anime. Like, well, no, made an anime. Excuse me. Yeah, they made an anime.
It was a Warcraft game.
Yeah.
Like Blizzard started all that off with Diablo, Warcraft. So that was what I played growing up, and it kind of like came up together where people were like, oh, you can get the same niche of people. The people that play anime will play Warcraft, or the people that watch anime will play Warcraft.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, you know what's okay? So like, This isn't exactly anime, but like, I mean, I guess now it is. But like, so League of Legends, right? Did a whole fucking League of Legends did everything. Like, they were like the first. So like, you know how they're like lifestyle brands, right? League of Legends became like a lifestyle brand, sort of.
No
you know
shit.
what I mean? Because like they made so they had their game, right? And then they had their like and they had their show, and those were the two big things, right?
Sure.
But they also made a K-pop group. I don't know.
Shit.
It's fucking great.
What?
They released a single as a promotion for these like new skins that were like K-pop-esque or whatever. They did it, and it was a song for for Worlds. You know, the biggest the biggest tournament in the world. And it was just like
competitive League of Legends.
Dude, it was a banger of a fucking music video. The song was like so catchy. Like, I still listen to it today. It's a great song. And it was K-pop.
In case you guys didn't believe that Josh was actually into this shit.
Yeah, dude. I fucking go hard, bro. Like, of course. And I force everyone who I've dated to watch it.
Yep.
Okay?
As you do.
Yeah, dude. And it was fucking sick. And like, so it's like, I feel like games are, and like anime, I don't know, not really anime, but like there are a lot of games where like they're becoming, at least if they want to stay relevant, they have to follow a league and become a lifestyle. Fortnite is a great example of a lifestyle brand.
They're doing concerts.
Yeah. They do concerts.
I think Fortnite is very Americanized.
Yeah, it's
I
really
don't think
gross.
they really took on like the anime style.
Yeah, I mean they do have collaborations with anime.
Sure.
Apex Legends also paid homage to a bunch of anime, but it was not as well received. Sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's nice because you're seeing it be more into the mainstream, you know, and you're seeing people look at this genre and realize that there is a huge potential for it. There is a lot of like Cyberpunk Edge Runners really took it to the next level.
Sure.
You know, and it was just fun, you know, and like just because it's animated and just because it's in a different language or whatever, or like the characters look weird or the tits are too big or whatever, like. It's not a bad
no, the
thing.
tits are too big? Oh,
God
no,
forbid.
Jesus Christ. What are we going to do?
But yeah, that's what, you know, it's one of the most fun genres. So like it's something to play with, and it's something to like, it's as good as any other movie that's an experience, you know?
So what do we call like the amalgamation of like all of it? Because like when it started, it was like, all right, anime, that's movies, and to bring it full circle, that's Hayao Miyazaki. That's where this started. That's where Akira started. Like that's anime. Everything else is just like a cartoon, or whatever. They're all kind of blending together.
It's all blended together now.
So like, what do you consider anime and what do you consider not? Like the League of Legends show is not the traditional anime style, but it's got anime themes. It's anime cuts. It's like. What do you call
what
this?
Is anime?
Like, overall,
what is this? How do you define anime? Yeah. If there's hentai of it, it's fucking anime, bro.
There's hentai of Family Guy. That is not anime.
That's done in an anime style. You know, that's a Rule 34. But
Rule 34.
But
Urban Dictionary Rule 34. If you don't know what Rule 34 is, then obviously you're not my friend in real
Patreon.
Life. Yeah, please. Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll do a special Rule 34 episode on the Patreon.
But yeah, it's a lot of like, it's all. I guess it is like, I don't know. That's how I always measured it. Was like if I watched something and I was like, I don't know, because like I'll watch a show and I'm like, oh, there's definitely a hentai of this, and I'm not gonna Google it, but I will Bing it real quick. You know?
You put it on the secondary browser.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, I'm gonna
incognito
Firefox
window.
that shit.
You know, I'll do it on my roommate's computer.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah. Oh man, I think we gotta end there. Where can people find you?
Instagram. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Kid Jersh. That is KIDJERSH. And I'm streaming soon. Actually, by the time this is out, I think I'll be able to stream, which I think is cool. I have mold in my apartment, so like the water gets on the computer, so I don't have my computer there. I have it in my folks' place, but like, you know, maybe I'll like, you know, stream some games and like hang out and stuff. So yeah, you know. And on Twitch it's Bioprop. Bioprop. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Look him up. As always, find me at Corey T Comedy on TikTok and Instagram. And then if you're in New York City, you got to come down to me and Chris Ryder's show every single week at Ferns called Ope, a comedy show. We do stand-up comedy, showcase style. A bunch of guests from this podcast are on it every single week. So if you're in the city, come join us. Josh, we got to get on you.
Hell yeah.
We got to get you on sometime soon.
Actually, wait, when does this come out?
I think in a couple weeks.
Oh fuck. Okay. Well, anyways,
pitch it.
Okay, cool.
It might come out next week.
I run a show called Cine Gang Comedy. It's a Southeast Asian centric show in Flatbush.
Okay.
It's a pop up. It's pretty fun. We have great food, sake. We get super drunk, but it's a fun time.
That a monthly?
That's a whenever we want it.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's like once every 2 months. But
follow Josh at Kid Jersh on Instagram, and you will know when the next one is.
That is
if
true.
This doesn't come out in time.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you for doing this.
I appreciate you. This was real fun. Yeah, we'll talk hentai. Okay, cool.